For this assignment, I would like you to work through some tutorials that are available to you in this site called CodeCademy. And if you haven't been in here before, then obviously you're going to have to sign up. It doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free. There are pieces in here that do cost, but we're just doing the free pieces. So don't worry, this isn't going to cost you anything. But this is a great place to practice some of the skills that are being talked about in this first week. Anytime you learn any kind of programming language, the more hands-on, the more practice you do, the more you'll understand it. Just reading the material doesn't help. So once you sign up, and I'll go ahead and log in instead of sign up, the tutorial that I want you to work through is this one here called Learn HTML. And you're going to get through 66% up to the section that's called Tables. And so this is what I want you to submit for the assignment is a screen print showing me exactly this Learn HTML. In fact, if you screen printed this whole badge right here that showed currently on tables, resume 66%, that will give you full credit for this particular assignment. I'm going to reset my progress. So I'll start from scratch and I'll show you a little bit. If you haven't worked in CodeCademy before, it can be a little bit daunting at first. So let me kind of give you a quick overview. So I'll start this particular lesson. And what CodeCademy does is, first of all, on the left-hand side, it gives you some information, gives you a little text that it wants you to learn, and then after the text, it'll give you some instructions that it wants you to practice. This middle pane then is going to be your practice screen. This is where your editor is. And then on the far right, as you progress writing these elements and these tags, you'll see a web page start to form on this third pane. And the way that this works is that you follow the directions, and it says to do something in the code editor, type your name between H1 and H2. So that's what I will attempt to do. Yay, success so far. And then what you need to do to progress is each step, this one only has one step, but each time you do a step, you click on Run, which tests your work to make sure that you did it correctly. I don't know if I can do it incorrectly at this point, but let's see if I can. So what if I had done it completely wrong and I put it here, and then I had hit Run? I should get a big red. It already allowed me to do it correctly the first time, so I can't fix my correction. So I'll show you on the next one. All right, so once I have run it and it says I've passed and it's green, you can see this instruction block is green, and there's a check mark which enables me to then click to the next pane. So if I click to the next pane, there's more information, and obviously you need to read through that because this is going to help reiterate the information that you're reading in the chapter. Then it asks you to do something. Well, here I just have to notice something. Okay, well, there's nothing to type in, so I can click Run, doesn't really matter. Hit Next. I'm waiting to get to one that has more than one direction. Same thing, this is just asking me to notice. Eventually I'll be able to be typing in some information. I'm just going to keep going. I expect you to read all of this. I'm glossing through it just for demonstration. Okay, so one more time, it's letting me know it wants me to see something. Where's the part? Here we go. Here's where I have to actually do something. All right, so let's say I did something wrong. I've read through the information. I tried to do what it asks me to do, and I typed something in incorrectly, and I hit Run. Notice I can't continue until I clear out my errors. And it tries to give you some kind of clue. Did you add a title? And anytime there's something in the instructions, you'll find it up here in this section that's describing what it wants you to do. Maybe not worded exactly the same way, but at least pretty darn similar. So here I can see, oh, I was supposed to put a title. In fact, I'm just going to copy that so I don't have to type it again. It looks like it goes within the head tags. Oh, I put it outside. Oh, I completely did it wrong. So now I'll try it the way they wanted me to do it, and I'll put in the title. It says that title can be anything I like. So now let me run it and see if I pass. And then once you pass, you can move on. So there's that aspect of it. Sometimes there's more than one item to do, more than one check block. And so you still have to do one check block at a time, as you'll see. So you'll click on Run, and then the next set of instructions will come up. You can also click on There's forums here, so if you completely get stuck, you don't understand what the heck it was that they were asking in this particular question, which can happen in CodeCademy sometimes. If you click on Go to Forums, chances are there's somebody who's also experienced the same issue you have. And so by clicking here, you go to this forum that has, you can post questions and see if you can find somebody else who was able to find the solution. But this one is relatively straightforward, I think. I don't think it'll be too challenging along those lines. If you click on the little hamburger icon here in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see that this lists all of the lessons, so the exercises, so to speak, in this particular section. So you're going to be doing 2 sections. I'll get back to that in a minute. But this is kind of, obviously you can't move ahead, but you can go back to one if you want to look something up or come back at any point in time. Obviously you can get help here. If you're totally stuck and you have trouble understanding what's being asked of you, if you want to take this screen print of all of these 2 panes, which gives me the directions that they're asking you specifically and what you've currently typed in, if you give me a screenshot of that and email it to me or put it up on Slack, I'm sure you'll get other people who can. In fact, that's probably a better solution. You'll get quicker response if you put a screen print up on Slack in our CIS 130 channel, and somebody who might have already encountered it can certainly help you out and get you unstuck. So good resource there, good reason to have access to the Slack channel. So that's CodeCademy. I expect you to do 2 sections. Let me see if I can get back to that. This is where I kind of get stuck. I always can't quite figure out how to get back to where I was. I think it's on catalog. Let's see. I was on web development. It's that back part that, learn HTML. That's what I'm trying to get to. Hemming and hawing here while I have a slow internet connection. There we go. So the part that I want you to work through is, you'll see there's overview, there's section 1. We're going to be doing introduction to HTML and common elements. Obviously the pro versions is not something I expect you to do. Work through as far as you can go with the free version, and then you do not have to start on HTML tables. That's not something I want to dive into anytime in the near future, but we will later on in the semester. So just get through 1 and 2. Again, when you're done, your screen should say 66% and currently on tables, like we saw at the beginning of this video. All right, so feel free to reach out if you get stuck. I don't expect you to know or memorize everything that you've worked through, but it's great practice on putting in tags and working through HTML elements that we are getting introduced to this week. All right, have fun.